the live-action Cowboy Bebop. There were some pretty good one-liners in that show.
There was.
Yeah.
Spring cleaning, we find some very interesting things.
Yep. You know what I got last time I was in TJ? Herpes? Stabbed. Know what I was doing? Buying a churro.
I forgot about that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Also,
What is it?
Don't bicker in front of a witness. We're not cops, just assholes.
That's such a good line.
Yep. And then no matter the context, I love watching theme parks burn.
That's just because you don't like theme parks.
Yeah. It's true.
I've already made it.
That's why Pierre LeFou is one of my favorite episodes.
It's why I have a solemn vow never to take you to Six Flags.
Uh-huh.
So, even though, geez, I want to go on a roller coaster again. I haven't been on one in over a decade. I miss it. Anyway, that's done. This is now, and it is currently our favorite time of the year. Delayed by a month because stuff happened. Sorry about that, guys.
Yep.
So
it's not Anime April.
It is.
It's just AniMAY!
You beat me to it. She beat me to it. Damn it. Oh, I was gonna do it. I told her I was gonna do that, and she beat me to it.
Very proud.
Well done. Anyway, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the General Geekery Podcast. This is, of course, the podcast where we love to geek out about all that we love to geek out about with no remorse.
No regrets.
And with all of the enthusiasm in the world, while there's a cat right behind me looking at our coffee and food very suspiciously.
Yeah, I'll watch him. I'll make sure he's not going for your toast.
Don't steal my toast. Anyway,
he thought he was being all sneaky, and I did too. I was like, I wonder if he knows he's there.
No, I saw him right out of the corner of my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as always, we are your awesome hosts. I am your resident coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, streamer by night.
Back, cat.
I am the coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, streamer by night, Donald Kaczynski. Joining me, as always, she is the tamer of the beast of Kefka, our artiste extraordinaire, and our resident video game inept, Hannah Kubiak.
Hello.
And as Hannah mentioned before, it is AniMAY!
Say hello, cat.
He actually said hello! Let's go! Alright, that's instantly a W for today.
Yep.
So normally, as longtime viewers of and listeners of the podcast will know, we usually do Anime April as a theme month where we talk about different anime that we love to talk about. We've been doing it for about 3 years straight. Unfortunately, we weren't able to record much last month, primarily due to the fact that a lot of IRL stuff happened, so we apologize for that.
Stuff happened. Cat.
But that's not going to stop us from doing Anime Month. It's one of our favorite months to record for the podcast, and we're going to keep going for it, especially since Hannah was the one that brought this up. We are dedicating this month to one of our favorite anime series that we have talked about in the past. Link for that episode will be in the description. We're talking about the extended universe of Steins this month. We're not going to be doing some of the other series that are part of like the same kind of franchise like Chaos Head and stuff like that. We're primarily focusing on some of the other pieces of the Steins Gate media. Beginning with this episode, we're talking about the Steins Gate movie.
Yes, the load Region of Deja Vu.
So I had only seen this movie about maybe once or twice before, and this was Hannah's first time viewing it. Mm-hmm. If you guys want to hear our reactions to all of it, starting now, whenever we do movies and such for General Geekery, we are going to be recording our live audio reactions to it that you guys can listen along with if you decide to watch the movies for yourself. They will be available on Patreon at patreon.com/General Geekery. Yep. If you guys want access to that, make sure to leave a donation goal and stuff like that, and you will have full access to all of the audio content related to that. So if you guys want to go watch the movie and listen to and react along with us as we're watching it, go do that before listening to the rest of this review. I'll give you 5 seconds starting now.
Are we actually waiting?
2 more seconds. Welcome back, everybody. So, the load region of Deja Vu. Now, this movie takes place a year after the events of the original Steins Gate story.
Yes.
So everything that happened in the original show and premise, multiple different timelines, Okabe trying to get back to save Mayuri, but then Kurisu would end up dying if they went to the Beta world line as opposed to the Alpha, and eventually had to reach the Steins Gate world line. This is a continuation of them reaching the Steins Gate world line.
Yeah, this is the one where this is the universe. I have something in my throat.
Careful.
This is the universe where both Makise and Mayuri are both alive in this universe.
Thank the heavens.
Yeah. So
those two are too precious for each other, and they deserve the best of friendships.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, after a year in America, Makise Kurisu returns to Akihabara, and her reunion with Okabe is cut short when Okabe begins to experience recurring flashes of other timelines, which is a consequence of time travel. His brain doesn't know which timeline he belongs in anymore. Eventually, he vanishes from the world, and only Makise remembers him. And she has to choose between her role as a scientist and her role as a friend. So it's sort of like, do I save my friend, or do I create the time machine that in the future I was going to create, so that I can go back in time and prevent this from happening to Okabe, basically, so that he can be part of this timeline again.
More wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you love it?
And let's see, yeah. So basically, the story is about Kurisu trying to sort of reconcile her scientist brain, her like very logical, emotionless sort of scientific mind that says that yes, well, time travel shouldn't exist. It's unnatural and it causes problems in the world and everything. So it shouldn't exist. So I can't make a time machine and go and save my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And Okabe agrees with this. Like, there's a point where before he disappears completely, he's flickering in and out of existence.
Yeah.
And he basically tells her, I wish I had I was looking for,
the exact lines?
Like, the exact lines, yeah, but I couldn't find it.
But so...
He was basically saying that, he would rather... He's like, I'd rather not exist than have there be a world where you and I are together, but you are experiencing the same, suffering that I do because I've been to different timelines and everything.
He basically summarizes to Makise what he felt going through all of it again and again and again. Mm-hmm. Like, seeing both her and Mayuri die right in front of his eyes and doing everything he can. He basically lost himself multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and nobody understands it, because for them it actually never happened. Kurisu never died, Mayuri never died,
Mm-hmm.
but in his mind it happened over and over and over again, and so it's kind of...
And he's explained to all of them, what he went through.
Yeah.
He explained to every single one of them, and at the beginning of the movie when Kurisu comes back, and they have that party on the roof, and she goes on that drunken tirade. Thanks, Mr. Braun, for switching out the non-alcoholic for the alcoholic, by the way. Yeah, she goes on this entire tangent. She's like, everything that you've said about that, I can't get that crap out of my mind. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to be a scientist, damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so she decides to go on till Suzuha shows up in the time machine from the future, from the time machine that future Kurisu created.
Yay, part-time warrior.
Yeah. And she basically explains that Okabe's reading Steiner is overloading with memories of other world lines, and she explains that to save him, Kurisu would have to go to the past in a time machine. So she travels, basically she has to travel back to try and give Okabe a powerful memory to anchor him to this world line, the Steins Gate world line. So she goes back to 2005, which is, at this point, 6 years in the past?
Yes, because
the series takes place in 2010, and then the movie is 2011.
Yeah, it takes place in 2011, and the day that Okabe disappears is my birthday. Damn it!
Really?
What?
Nice.
Yeah. He disappeared on August 4th in the afternoon in the movie, and I'm like, not on my birthday. I don't want to be rid of Hoing Kyoma.
And so she goes back to 2005 to the day when the mad scientist persona appeared. The day when Okabe finds Mayuri in the graveyard again, and she's really depressed and missing her grandmother and everything. And he basically tells her, like, you can't. I won't let you leave me. You can't escape from a mad scientist.
You are my hostage.
You are my hostage. And so he basically, for all intents and purposes, like, saved her life. And so Kurisu, when she goes back in time and she meets him, when he was a little boy, he was like 13, 12?
Somewhere around that.
Young teenager.
Somewhere around that, because he's a college student by the time that Steins Gate starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would say at minimum 14 to at maximum 14 to 15.
Okay. Yeah. So he's he's a young teenager.
Yes.
So she goes back in time, and she plants the idea of the mad scientist in his brain, and she also gives him his first kiss, which will definitely anchor you to a world line, let me tell you. As a 14-year-old sitting at a bus stop, and some random lady comes up to you and tells you a story, gives you a kiss, and then walks away. You're like, what the hell? Like, I feel like I'm in this world. And then, then immediately after that, Okabe goes to the graveyard to save Mayuri. And in this way, Kurisu manages to bring Okabe back. And
if it is the will of Steins Gate, then so be it, Christina.
Yeah. So that's basically the plot of it. Very, very short. Very short version. I'm trying to think. There was
Even though it's like a very short and simple to the point plot wise, again, like the original series, Steins Gate is basically bolstered by the performance of the characters in both the Japanese and the English. Which, by the way, prior to watching this movie, Hannah rewatched the original Steins Gate in the English dub for the first time, because she originally only watched it in Japanese. So
I think I watched the first half.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet, but I would like to.
Yeah. And
but yeah, J. Michael Tatum and Trina Nishimura are both
they're fantastic.
They're both fantastic.
That entire cast did so much good work, especially with J. Michael Tatum as Okabe Rintaro, which he's also the ADR script director for that series and movie.
And the writing is hilarious and also heartbreaking.
Completely bombastic.
Yeah.
For those
Silence, my porcine friend. Rude.
well, I mean, if they were going to try to translate a character like Okabe Rintaro and his Hoen Kyoma aesthetic into English, they probably did the best that they did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great.
especially when it comes to like the emotional moments, like when he has the breakdown, Tatum just goes in.
Yeah.
Because you haven't seen the second half of it, the original series in English dub yet.
I think I saw the bit you're going to tell me about, but yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
There are more than that, but yeah. The moment when Kurisu goes back to try to figure out what happened at Okabe, and she remembers everything, and she's trying to plead with him, and he figures out that she time leapt. He
loses his mind. Yeah.
he loses his patience. He's like, why? Why would you do this?
It's like when I've told you over and over again that it destroys the world and it destroys your mind and stuff, and
it's an extended 15, like 10. It feels longer than it
feels
probably
really
was,
long.
But it's basically like a 2-person show. Like from that point on, even though Suzuha is also there, like on the side.
Yeah.
And just again, it shows like why I love those two characters to death.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely worth the watch.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And especially in the side characters, like when Kurisu is doing the Okabe, the Hoing Kyoma persona in the Future Gab. In the Gadget Lab to get everybody to remember. Oh, Mayuri's reaction when she remembers Okabe. I hate seeing Mayuri cry, damn it. Hurts my soul every time. The cat is now on my lap. Hello, Kefka. He's getting comfy.
Yeah, getting nice and comfy.
Yep, get nice and comfy, buddy. So yeah, obviously, this didn't really have as much from like more of the supporting cast compared to the series.
Yeah, it was mostly Kurisu.
Yeah, it was a very Kurisu-driven plot, which I was okay with.
Which it was a cool exploration of like the sort of like the constant battle between the head and the heart. You know, where you're like, my brain knows what needs to happen, but my heart says otherwise.
Yeah.
You know.
And it takes the convincing from Suzuha in particular to say why. I always thought that it was just you in the future that was just mainly this indecisive, but I guess you were always like this. Basically calling the kettle black. I find it amazing that no matter what kind of world line or timeline or whichever like that, Suzuha is always just going to be antagonistic towards Kurisu. Sorry, Christina.
Yeah. And the what was it? It's gone.
Aw.
Yeah. Oh, the sort of concept of everyone in the timeline forgetting about Okabe when he disappears, it kind of reminded me of the silence from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like when they appear, as soon as they disappear, you forget about them.
Yeah, that kind of experience terrifies me. As someone personally who has a history of like depression and anxiety, to personally realize that like your existence will just fade and like no one remembers you, that hurts my heart. That does hurt my heart. If I was in Okabe's position, I'd be like, please no. I'd be like Tom Holland from Avengers Infinity War. I don't want to go. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Yeah. I know, Kev.
Yeah, and kind of the thing where like, even though initially like she kind of, her memory of him kind of starts to fade, even though she originally like she remembered at first, and then by the time she got to like she saw him disappear, and then she ran to the lab, and by the time she got there she had no idea why she was so upset. She was like, there's somebody's gone, I don't know who, it's somebody, I forget his name, you know, and kind of this idea that even things that you don't remember can still impact you emotionally. Like your heart still remembers, even if your brain doesn't. You know, which I find really interesting. Which reminds me of another thing from Doctor Who.
Oh dear.
Do you remember when? I think it's in the Matt Smith era when
you're gonna bring
Amy,
up Rory, aren't you?
Yeah, when Rory disappears and Amy doesn't remember him. But then there's a point where like something triggers and she's like sad. She's crying and she's like,
It was in the Van Gogh episode.
Oh yeah, and she's like, why am I sad? I don't know why I'm sad. And the doctor knows that it's because like she's missing Rory, who she doesn't remember.
Yeah, and it hurts her.
Yeah, exactly. So, very interesting.
So since we talked about the movie a little bit, I might as well get your personal inquiries on it.
My inquiries?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about it as much because you wanted to sit on it for a bit, but as like a little final chapter epilogue to the original Steins Gate story, how do you feel about it?
I think it's interesting. I kind of I was a little bit confused because at the end of the first series, basically he was able to save both Mayuri and Kurisu. But then because of that, he never actually met Kurisu, right?
In this world, in the Steins Gate world line, yeah, I don't think he would have run into her in the. I have to double check the ending again because I don't know if he would still run into her at the lecture.
Maybe
if it ever happened.
Maybe he would. Yeah, because maybe the version of him that went back into the version of him that went back in time to the time machine to basically
stage the incident.
He gets back in the time machine and comes back. I don't know. Yeah, because he got himself shot. I don't know if he would stay for a lecture. Just kind of like, gotta get home now, I think. Yep. Here I go. So, but then the Okabe in the past, who sees Kurisu dead, he immediately leaves and texts Daru and sends that message about it, and then it causes all the D-mail stuff and all the time changes having to do with that. So I don't know when he would have met her. Maybe he looks her up later. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean,
after having his gunshot wound tended to.
Well, she still ran into him prior to that incident happening.
That's right.
So.
Oh yeah, because she said something about there's no time machines are not plausible, and he and she came up to him and she was like, "Hey, you had something you wanted to say to me? Hello?" And he's like, "I've never met you before," and it was all very confusing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe because of that, they get in contact somehow. But the time machine is never made.
Yeah, in this world line, the time machine was never at all made because they never hacked into CERN. The D-mail was never sent, Gesundheit. And life just continues on as normal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that is it is a fun little epilogue to the original series. Obviously, this is not Gesundheit.
Sorry.
This film was, if I'm not mistaken, an original project. It wasn't part of the original light novel game that the series is based on, which I've only played a little bit of that light novel. The multiple different endings that can come out of that is just so crazy. In the one where Ruka remains a girl, Mayuri does eventually die, but her and Okabe become a couple and they have a kid. Which I'm like...
Ruka?
Yes!
I can see that.
Pretty much, yeah.
They have a very special relationship, those two. Those two dudes.
It fills my heart with joy. Just as glorious as the sun with the flower.
A guy.
But he's a dude.
A dude.
He is the picture perfect. Ruka is the picture perfect example of grace. Dude.
Oh man.
I don't care. Damn it.
I love it.
Ruka's amazing. I love Ruka. But Yeah, it's a very fun little epilogue. Mm-hmm. You don't really need to watch it to like appreciate the original series that much more, but
you do need to watch the original series to appreciate the movie, though. Like, if I had watched just that movie, I would be so confused. Be like, what the hell did I just watch?
Sorry, I meant it in a different word. You don't need to watch the movie to appreciate the original series. It's like it's a fun little nod as to like what made the series so fun, including like a little Easter egg thing that I'm like, oh, that's right.
Oh, the one with Nay, right?
With Nye, yeah.
Oh,
so,
it's Nye.
when Okabe's flashing back to like some of the other alternate world lines, there's a moment in there where Mr. Braun's daughter, Nye, basically hunted down both Moeka and Okabe because of the death of her father.
Yeah.
I think she becomes like a rounder herself, if I'm not mistaken. Evidently, in Japan, when Steins Gate was being rebroadcast, they changed one of the episodes to fit more to that storyline as sort of like a lead-in to the release of what would be Steins Gate 0, which we'll be talking about very, very soon.
Part of me wants to just like watch the first 5 episodes here, like right now, because we both have the day off.
That is true.
We should do that. I have rehearsal at 6, but unless you want to do an Epticon. Here we go. Like, you're scheduling on air.
It's no worries. We got some time both today and tomorrow, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, I always love going back to the Steins Gate series. Again, I hadn't seen this movie in several years. I actually bought the DVD for this as a gift for my brother, actually, because Steins Gate is one of my brother Zach's. I think it's actually his number 1 favorite anime of all time.
It's one of mine, definitely.
Yeah, for him, it's definitely number 1. And I heard about the movie, and I'm like, I'm going to get this movie for him and surprise him with it. And so we watched it together Christmas night after everyone was asleep, and we were both, like, shedding tears.
Oh, gosh.
Because as soon as that one song pops up, like always during like the sad scenes from Steins Gate, we're just like, oh no, not that song, please, not that song.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was during the moment when Okabe and Kurisu were having the heart to heart with each other, like in the evening. Yeah.
In the evening, the train station, right before he disappeared.
Yeah, before he disappears the second time.
It's just
hurts your heart, man.
Yes. Well, that's pretty much all that I had to say about this.
Yeah, that's
just those few little things.
Yeah, and like I said, Steins Gate. If you guys are interested in watching this movie for yourself, go check it out on all streaming platforms that it's available on. If I'm not mistaken, you should be able to find it on Crunchyroll and Hulu. If you check it out either in the dub or the sub, you will have a fantastic time with it. And if you guys want to hear our personal reactions to it, again, like I mentioned, the link for the audio commentary track that we recorded prior to this episode will be available there as well.
It's a patron exclusive. Cool.
It is a patron exclusive.
I'm trying to actually do things on Patreon instead of just letting it sit there and saying, someday, if you want, you can give us money and we will give you nothing in return.
But yeah, we're planning on doing some more audio commentary tracks for movies and stuff like that. Even if we maybe don't do an episode on them, we still might. We're planning on doing a lot more audio content on the side as well. If you guys want access to all of that, please check out our Patreon and consider donating some coin to us. Every little bit helps us out on the show, what we do here, as well as other audio reactions, as well as our Adaptaion stream series, which Hannah is currently doing right now. We're in the middle of doing both The Last of Us, the original one, and Persona 5 Royal.
Yes.
So definitely go check that out if you guys have the time. Otherwise, if you guys also want to check us out and everything else that we do, we are also part of Loaded Dice Adventures on Wednesdays and Mondays, respectively, over on twitch.tv/Loaded Dice Adventures. You can check me out at my personal Twitch at Coffee Ninja Ryu. Again, link in the description. If you guys want to check out the podcast on the socials, you can check us out on Twitter at Gen Geek Podcast and on Instagram at General Geekery. We're getting a little bit more involved with that as well. And if you guys want to check me and Hannah out at all of our social stuff, you can check all the links in the description of this episode as always. And with that, AniMAY has just begun. Hope you guys are excited for more Steins Gate discussions in the coming episodes. We might just do like another anime movie to like end the month off after we're done talking with Zero. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, we're dividing Zero into a couple of episodes.
Yeah,
right?
we're spending a little bit more time on Zero.
Yeah.
We're cutting it into like maybe like 2 to 3 episodes. I think.
Yeah, 2 to 3, just like to sort of even out our content consumption with our content production, because it got a little bit taxing to do a 1 hour episode based on a 24 episode show that we binged, you know?
Yeah.
It gets a little exhausting. So we're trying to sort of...
So yeah, if you guys want to go check all that out, stay tuned. We're going to have some very nice in-depth discussions in the coming future. So
I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
It rocked my soul.
Oh, the kokoro. The heart. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of General Geekery. For Hannah Kubiak and the comfy little cat Kefka that is sitting on my lap right now, being the good boy that he is.
I wonder if he'll speak again.
Do you want to speak, Kefka?
No, he just kind of went... He just kind of shuddered.
He said hi.
Don't touch me. I don't know where you've been.
He said hi earlier. It's okay. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of General Geekery. We appreciate it. AniMAY has just begun. For Hannah Kubiak and Kefka right here, I'm Donald Kaczynski. And until next time, guys, always remember to keep your geek on.
Always.
Clink, clink.
El Sai Kongru, folks.
El Sai Kongru. Bye, guys.